Owl the Power 78. And here I'm going to do my first and probably only SCSS, also known as Sassy CSS. It's the newer version of SAS. I don't know too many much of the differences. I'm just learning it, and it's time to code with David. Ain't that right, David? First and foremost, we need to download the compiler and then probably restart this. So let's go to our extensions and let's put live SAS. And it's live SAS compiler. We're gonna install this. You can't be crying. Okay, talk to the camera. Talk to the camera. It's all right. Talk to the camera, dog. Tell them we're gonna be compiling this stuff. Yeah. Here, have some of this. Okay, you feel better now? I'll hold you down like this. You gonna feel better that way, David? Mm-hmm. Are you gonna do a telekinesis? Okay. He's gonna tell me what to say. So after I install it, you see it says watch SAS here now. That's how you know it works. And just in case, I'm just gonna do that and then I'm gonna restart it. Just in case it needs to be updated like that. You know how VS Code sometimes be working all crazy and stuff. So that's the first thing. Second thing is I'm gonna show you something. Is it control this? Yeah, and then I'm gonna put live SAS. Let's see if we can find it. So what I'm looking for is the compiler right here. So I'm gonna click on the compiler and I'm gonna edit in the JSON settings. Now all this stuff right here, this right here originally wasn't there. I had to put it in myself so it could work right. All this other stuff is saying use prettier to code, which is, you know, when I do my formatting and stuff like that. So what this is saying is put it on its own folder called CSS. That's where it's gonna map to, and it's gonna have that extension name, and it's, I don't know, expanded. I don't really know what that exactly what that really does right now, but I know that's how it's gonna be formatted. It's gonna be a CSS format, and when we save or put watch SAS, which we could do right now. You know what? Let me actually copy and paste that for you guys. Live SAS, so you guys can see it real quick. All this right here was I would try to put it in one of my YouTube link description. All right, so that's where I'm gonna put it at. So for now, I'm gonna put that as a file in here, and we're gonna call it, no, not in there, out in the outside, and we're gonna call it text dot. Boy, you're supposed to be helping me, not sleeping. And this is only so we could, you know, save some stuff. All right, this is not, and this is like a text file, so it doesn't really matter. Let's save it like that, and let's get rid of that. And that's how I do. This theme that I have. If you're wondering what it is my installed. It's called Cyberpunk 2077 Rebuild. I love these. I love green is my favorite color. Purple is like my second favorite color. And for my man Mark Powell, thank you very much. Yeah, I paid for it, but he taught a lot, and Free Code Camp taught a lot. So I gave my like $2. So yeah, so that's what I'm working with. If you like the theme, it looks so much better on here than Visual Studio, and I hope Visual Studio allows themes like this to work. But for now, we're gonna come back over here, and with Sassy with Sassy CSS or SCSS actually is, we don't really need this open. Okay, here it is. So what it really is like, it's like a TypeScript for CSS. You type some CSS here, and it'll make a thing once you click on this. Before I click on that, this is one thing I like to do, because I don't know why. Nope, we're not trying to do that. I don't know why it doesn't do this automatically. And we're gonna go to scroll behavior like that, and we're gonna have it smooth. It should automatically be smooth, in my opinion. So we're gonna Control S this, but it didn't open up a new folder, right? Like we thought it would. Of course not. We gotta watch SAS. Now it's watching. Notice it created its own CSS called app CSS. Well, that's cool. So let's open this up. Scroll behavior smooth. Okay, that's good. I don't have nothing in here, so let's just do that. And I have this thing called the Owl's boilerplate, but I'm not using that because I don't really need to use that right now. And I'm not gonna change that. I'm just gonna link this, right? We're gonna link this href. We're gonna go CSS app CSS. So you can see it on our page. We're gonna go div here, and we're gonna call it main. We could have called it app too, didn't matter. And we're gonna put hello. And I also have this other extension. If you don't have it, it's called live server. Alright, so live server is very important because what that does for us is that also lets us open in the live server. Now it's probably going to open up in my other thing, which I was right. So we're going to put that here. Now we're going to just push this bad boy side by side. And we could do this, and then we could, you know, move this a little more in like that. There you go. We don't need to see all that stuff. So everything here looks great. So let's just Control S. Now in the bottom over here, let's see. In the bottom right here it says watching. When I save this, it's not watching for that. Only thing it's watching for is stuff like this. So what I like to do, because this is what I just learned and I'm learning more and more, is I like to configure. So let's come down here. And I guess you're supposed to use this keyword called use now. I don't know how to properly use that yet, but I'm working on that. So we're going to use that import. So we got these things called partials. And the first partial I would like to do is called the config dot SCSS, right? And what that's gonna do is this is where we will put, like, let's just say we want to have a variable, and we're gonna call it, like, usually websites have like 3 primary colors, and I could put primary color, secondary color, and third color, right? But we don't want to really do that right now because I'm just gonna show you. So I'm put fun color like this, and it's going to be whatever color we want here. Oh no, we're gonna call this BG color. How about that? BG color. So the background color, we're gonna just make it black. We don't have to use it this way. It could be some crazy color that we created. All right. So the background color is that. And now we have a color. So let's put font color. That's what we're gonna call it, font color. Because I don't think there's a font color in CSS. I know there's a color, which is actually the font color. And we're going to make this white smoke. Now, I know you're like, how come you don't know all the other names, like, you know, the RGBs to all these colors? Why? If I wanted to change this color to like we could change it to like blanch or wheat, blanch almond or wheat. Or we could just come over here and change this right here, and then maybe put it right here, and then it'll change it to RBG like that. So that's pretty cool. And that's not the only thing, because CSS3 now you could do what they call that. We could do variables and stuff like that. But in SCSS you could do functions, which I'm not gonna get into right now. I'm not a master of this. This is just me and David was supposed to code, so I wanted to do something for myself. Now, in order for us to actually work with those colors in here, we gotta import them. So, and then you basically just have to put config without the underscore, and it kind of knows what you're talking about. So you close it, and now we could also in the config, what I like to do, if possible, it's just like resetting a website, like no margins, no padding. So padding 0, and then margin 0. Yeah, he's getting heavy, so forgive yourself. And so a lot of people use box border and border box or whatever it is. And I can see, you see prettier if I put Alt Shift F, it creates the indent. So let's do that, right? So we are using this here right now, and we imported it. Let's look at our CSS. Now that we have it, it has nothing yet, right? It has nothing yet, because we should have saved this if we didn't save it. There you go. Now that I saved it, you see right here it says success. Let's save it again. If I press Control S, see right here it's gonna say success. If you did something wrong, it's gonna say error. So remember, if something's not working on your web page, don't get really mad. Look for the error you're probably missing. And if you don't know what the error is, as this is watching, let me make this a little bit bigger. If this is watching, it'll say error invalid after, and then it'll tell you online 5 of SAS. It needed this bad boy right here. That was your error. So that's pretty cool too. That's why compilers aren't important. So what happened? Look what happened. You did the config thing, and look at this. The padding is 0. The margin is 0 on the CSS file as well. So let's move that CSS file. Let's move the CSS file over here behind config, because we're probably gonna do some. This is only so we can see what it's doing. So what else can we do with this? We could what was our class for this main? Let's go Control C. Let's hit that up right here, and in here we could just put like dot main, and you go BG color, background color. Let's go like that. And then if you press the of course you would want something else. You could got BG color right there and press tab, and now if I save it, let me make it like it was. You can see the BG color is kind of right there. You can't see nothing because we didn't change the color to the font color that we want. So what was the other color that we had that was like that? Font color, right? We press Control S, it says successful right here, and look, this is that color that we was looking at. And if we wanted to have the whole body like have a certain size or something like that, like you could probably put it here, and we'll put font size, and then we could put like, say we could put a certain amount. We could just put larger. I like to just use larger. Press Control S. Let me put this back over here. No, we want this, and we want this out of there, and then like, oops, we want it like that, and then this should clicking over here like nothing, and then there you go. Now you can see the bottom better. Before when I was pressing Control S, it was hard to see the success mode. We don't really need this open, but what if we wanted to add something? Like what if we had an about page or something like that, and we only wanted to work with the about page section, and we changed, like we added, let's just add another one, right? Let's just add another file here. We call it about .html, and then we press enter, right? And our about page, the only thing that we really have different is we have a tag called about, right? That's our div. We call it about. So now we, instead of like adding more to right here or adding more to right here, as you see the size of the font is bigger. So we could come into like the app, since that's using main, and we could like do like what most people do. We give it a width, right? And we could give it like I'm gonna go with 75 view width. That's like 75% of the width, and then we could center it by putting margin in it, right? Margin like that, and then we could just put 0 auto, and then we could put a height of whatever height we want, and we want that, like, let's put 50 view height. That's 50% of the height. Control S. See how that's changed? So let's put text align in there. All right, so we want that one to be centered. That sounds good. Control S. And now that is centered, we can add things in here. But let's say we have a lot of stuff going on the main web page, right? And this is where these partials really come in handy. If there's a lot of writing going on in here, guess what? Then we have no idea. We could get confused of where it's at. But if we could do something like, I didn't mean to write avoids, but I don't care. You know what I meant? But if we want, we could add another partial, right? New file in there. Remember, it starts with an underscore, and we're gonna write. All right, but I'm gonna put it down. So we're gonna write what is about. I'm typing with one hand, so forgive me. About CSS, that's whatever, right? And then now in here we could put like dot about. And in here we could, add some stuff, whatever we wanted to add. I don't know, about would make it. Let's copy some of this app CSS stuff. We're gonna copy some of this. And now in our about section, we want, where is it at? Oops. About. So what we want in here is some of that. But we don't want the background color to be, this color, we want it to be wheat. So we could just change that here, right? Yeah, that sounds right. And say we had other stuff we wanted to do with it. Remember, anything you could do in CSS, you could do with SCSS. Now, let's just say in the about we had a P tag, right? Let's just type anything here, and then put a P tag here, right? And let's just do that, and then we type lorem. That gives us 25 words. We press enter after that. So we type that, we press Control S, and now we're here, and we're gonna go to like about, right? Let's see if that works. Okay, we go here. We're gonna go to that should have worked. Oh, that's because that's not the name of it. Wait. As you can see, this looks horrible, right? Well, first things first, we have to put about in the app, right? The app or our main one. So let's do that. You're gonna see some stuff happen, which is cool. So let's do that. We don't want a URL, but we have that, and then we could put about. And because it's a partial, we don't have to do anything else. Now the cool thing about this is that it didn't work. So we gotta make sure I put about CSS. Okay, that worked there. So this should start working here. Let's see. Let's Control S and see if I made a mistake and how I did it. Let's file and make sure. Okay, where's my about now? You see, there's one thing I don't like. I'm done with the config. I'm done with the about CSS. No, I'm not. I'm done with the index. I'm done with the thing. But as you can see, as we was writing all our stuff, look at what happened. The about came into the CSS. The main stuff came into the CSS. And let's just add an image. I'm gonna find an image somewhere in here as well. And we're gonna have an image of my duckies, right? And then the source is gonna be, I think it's on my web. You know what? Let's put it in here. Let's go over here and close this button right here. And I have this image called duckies on my page right here, and I'm gonna put it inside here. And it doesn't matter because usually I would have a folder called duckies, but we're gonna leave the duckies in here. Did it save? Okay, so now it's in there, so that's cool. So let's get rid of duckies, and now we could come back over here. I like to, and I don't know what it's looking for. So we shouldn't have to put the dot. That's one thing now, because it's duckies is right there, and there's the duckies image. And that's pretty cool. If we go Alt Shift F, it'll put the closing tag in for us. Let's save that. And let's put this bad boy back up here. Now that's horrible looking, right? So let's go back to the about. The about background color. Okay, so this stuff right here should all be the background color for the about should have changed into primary color because it's mixed in with the not the app CSS, but with the app SCSS, because they're both in there. So what that's gonna do is pull all this stuff in here, and we should be able to use the background color of BG color, which I'm not seeing, which is kind of annoying because I don't see. Okay, there was an error. Or was that yeah, that was before. So let's see. We go down here. Okay, let's just Control S that. Nothing's really changed except that, we formatted differently. So I'm kind of frustrated right now because I just learned this and it should have came out over here. Let me see what our CSS is about. Background color black. Okay, what's and about? We got div.class about. I'm gonna change the name to this to about, because it might have something to do with everything. I don't know. So now we're gonna go back to about. Alright, so nothing's changed, and that's kind of frustrating. But div class equals about. So we come here and we have dot about. It changed it to black. But we changed the font color to wheat. You see, it says it in the CSS. And all this is supposed to happen double check to see if I'm doing everything right. About CSS, the watch SAS will come on. And let's exit out of here and let's go to the about HTML, right click and say open with live server, and let's lower this. Yeah, this is kind of frustrating due to the fact that we have this about CSS and everything else was working on it, but it's not actually showing me my background colors. As you can see in the app CSS, that it is supposed to be there working with that. Oh, I know why it's not working. Forgive yourselves. We got to open index right here, and that's my bag. I be forgetting sometimes. Forgive yourself. And we got to put that link in the about. So that's why a lot of people just copy and paste a lot of things and then fix it later. Now this will work. As you can see, this lower Imram, and this is centered now. And if you want the div centered, unlike how we had it before, actually that div should be centered. That's Control S. This should be centered into the whole view. It's the picture so big that it makes it look like it's not centered. So what we're gonna do with image, all right? So the good thing is that we could just put image like this inside, and this is called nesting. And with the image, we could put like width, and it doesn't matter. We put percentage sign or how big we want it. Let's put like 5 rem. Control S, and that image is mass small, right? But everything else is centered in there. But let's look at the CSS. Let's see the about. You see how we had it nested, but it took it out the nest and made the image like that. I mean, that's horrible. We really want it to be at least like 20, maybe. I don't know how many REMs is. Oops. And that looks better. And we could do other things with that, like make it border radius of 50%, like that, and that's gonna make it into a circle. And we might even cut out one of the duckies, but that's okay. So you see, we made it into like a big oval. Okay, so I was working with this, and the only thing I was trying to show, which is not allowing me to show, it's not doing it because I'm not doing anything specifically for that, is that if you need to put like WebKit something or WebKit this, or like let's put it on the main one of the app, right? And let's put I don't even want to mess with it. I was just learning it. So if you wanted to do things and they had like WebKit information, it'll actually put that in there for you. So let's just press Control S. Alright, and then I'll show you what I mean in a second. I was messing with my portfolio. I was learning some stuff, freecodecamp.com. And like if we go to the CSS here, in the main CSS, look at all this stuff that I was working with, and like WebKit transform, rotate, and stuff like that. So if we wanted to rotate something, it'll add the WebKit. So let's just put this part, right? Let's just put that on the picture right real quick. On the other one. Let's see if that works, so I could try to show you what I was trying to talk about. And then you press Control V and Control S. If it says successful down here, that means, or success down here, that means you did it right. So if we go to the app CSS, you see how it put it rotated whatever it needed to rotate on the image of 720 degrees. I don't know. We're gonna change that over here. We just put 90 degrees on the hip hop trees, right? Because I forgot what that was for. So you see how it changed it to 90 degrees, and in here it used everything it needed to use for any other web browser, right? That is. Right now I'm using Brave, not Google Chrome, because Brave has this thing that you go to certain websites, and I'll put it right here so I show you. Let's say you go to YouTube. Look at all these things right here, 3, 4, 5. It's stopping all these things from coming. So that's why I use Brave. I kind of like it a lot. Haven't had any issues with it. But that's my time, because now my leg and my arm is worn out. And I just want to say thank you if anybody was watching. According to this, nobody's watching. Thank you anyways. And my man right here, this is for you. I got your shirt. I got it in blue too. Thank you. This is a purple.